clicked the button, not realizing I didn't turn my video off yet. Oh my goodness, I am laughing at myself. Oh my goodness, I am in that car and living through the worst. You understand me? But I'm looking at me like, wow, this big old water baby. I've been a water baby all my life. But you know what? I'm sitting here. Mm, I'm talking about the video that's 4 hours, whatever long. I just started watching the video and I'm going to watch every last drop of that video. I woke up and I didn't even know what time it was. I went to the bathroom, took care of some things, and went in the kitchen and just made me a piece of sausage, a little piece of sausage. Just give me something in my mouth. Boys and girls, let me tell you something. If you think I cried in that car, hear my nose? I cried when I got home. But why? Because when I saw that garage downstairs, I realized, honey. So I could not stop crying yesterday. I could not stop crying, but I kid you not, I feel so good. I feel so freaking good because I did it. I did it. I did it and didn't even think I could do it. I did not realize how much life I absolutely missed. And I am 56 years old. I absolutely missed a hell of a lot of life because I have been in fear and in trauma all my life. And I don't give a damn who doesn't like it. I don't care anymore. I absolutely was in that car and everything went through my mind. Everything I could not believe. I could not even tell you how MJ was in that car sitting next to me. It is amazing how scary life can be when you can't rely on people that you are around. I kid you not. When I got to exit 61, when I was already well past 3 hours away from my home, I had I got my sister on the phone who I can barely get a hold of. And all of the things that I said in rage because I was horrified. And then I did everything in my power to keep myself together, but I'm not going to hold back nothing. I'm going to try my best to be as decent as I can on this video. You know why? Because I owe myself. Nobody owes me. I was in that gas station, and I was the only person that looked like me in that gas station. And I knew if I tipped my scale, it would be on and popping for the handcuffs. You hear me? I had to make sure I did what I had to do to stay in my lane. But I realized exactly where I stand in this world. And I kid you not, I am the happiest person on earth right now. You have no idea. I left here trying to get a piece of paper signed that I should not have had to go that distance to sign. But you know what? I always say, know which side of the bread your butter is on. And I am being tested. I am being tested for loyalty and resilience. You understand me? And I know because I know what I need. Fuck what I want. There are no wants in this equation right now. There are only needs. And I realize exactly what I want. I kid you not. I am thankful for every bit of yesterday. Every bit of yesterday. I kid you not. But you know what? I am going to watch this video and I am going to laugh. You understand me? That right there was the longest time I went without a nap in the last couple of years. I am usually dropping out kapunk, not able to control the lids. You hear me? The lids kapunk, and I managed to stay awake. Mm, 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 mm. And on top of that, I don't like asking for anything. I don't like asking for help. I don't like asking for anything, but I am a Libra. I am I do the best I can for what I can do for myself. And if I'm hungry, if I will stay hungry and I will drink water if I have to. I don't like to be a burden to anyone. And I have learned that a lot of how I am now is how I grew up. And I grew up in a house with six people or more at one point. But that's nobody's fault. I absolutely respect the hustle and grind. Everybody has to do what they have to do. I am 56 years old now and I have to take care of my life. Why? Because if I make it to 80, which I have definitely tried not to, I kid you not, I have tried not to make it to 50. And for some reason, I made it to 56. If that is not telling you something, nothing else will. Kid you not, I won't even tell you what I did few months ago, and there's no way in hell I should be sitting on this screen with my eyes open, but I will say, God provides. Well, I called my ex that I haven't seen in so long, and he chimed me $30. I don't know how to use a chime card. I may not even have registered that thing or whatever you do with the card, but when I got to the register, it was denied. I'm okay, but I kid you not, I looked all over my bag for that emergency money that I left, but I kid you not, I'm gonna tell you how intentional my life had to be for a while now. And I thought I was wrong. I thought I was wrong. I felt bad. I cried a lot. But let me tell you something. I have tried to be in relationships. I've tried to be in friendships. And then I learned along the way that there are situationships where a person feels as if you have something they need and they will give you what you need. And then there are situationships where a person will see what you have that they need and they will take until you are empty. And then they will move on to the next person. When I realized I had to make some changes because I wanted a different life. So changes began in every aspect of my life, people, places, and things. And then I realized that the one thing I had to do was stop being available. That's it. And I never realized what that would mean or what that would imply. But I knew I had to do it. And guess what? I was unavailable. Started blocking and everything. No hate, no nothing. I was trying to save myself. But I kid you not, it turned out to be a blessing because the one person that I should have been able to call, I couldn't call. I couldn't call. Why? He will never answer the phone. Why? Because I absolutely let that man in this door and made it point blank period clear with my behavior that there's nothing going on besides friendship. If you want us to be friends, we're friends. That's it. I made it point blank. I didn't even have to open my mouth to say what there was not going to be. But to spend my life with someone who is a millionaire, 7 years, and you can't even say you fed me, there's a dynamic of unconditional love that you have to know was there. Because I don't care about what you have. Your gold, your china, your toys are yours. I want mine. I want mine. That's it. I had to block to get a little bit of understanding. Now I'm in a situation and I can't call because I know there won't be any help. Why? Because the exchange on the scale is uneven. But this right here is a remembrance for me for life, honey. This right here, all of those tears rolling out that bald-headed girl's eyes on that TV, but she made it. She made it. And I cannot believe. And you know, one of the things why I'm proud of myself is because I would normally not have aired that video. I would normally not have aired that video, but you know what? I'm not the only one in this world that would get behind the wheel of a car and don't know where they're going. I have been living here for 15 years. It could be a little bit more, but I definitely know 15. And I don't even know the entire 4.4 miles where I live. It matters. It matters. But I kid you not, when I was going, I had so many things on my mind. So many things just flew through my mind, and everything happened for a reason. Happened for a reason because I kid you not, the neighborhoods that I rode through, no one could tell me they were there if I didn't see it myself. If I didn't see it myself. And then when you'd make one turn, you are in what? Mm-mm. I kid you not. I was in the elevator the day before yesterday getting my mail, and there was a piece of paper on the floor. I picked the piece of paper up and threw it in the bag that I had my garbage in from my car. And I said to myself, I'm on camera the whole time I've been in this building picking up trash. But you know what? I didn't put that there, but I saw it there. And I say to myself, why do I do stuff like that? And I never understood, even when I lived in different apartments and it was time to shovel, that wasn't my responsibility. But I went out there and I did it anyway. Even when my back was hurting and everything, I still did it. And one of my landlords said to me, why did you shovel? I said, you know how dangerous that is? Somebody may come with a stroller or wheelchair, and I just can't understand for the life of me why I was the way I was all my life. But the one thing I always knew is I didn't belong here. I knew that without a shadow of a doubt. I didn't belong here. And I can't even tell you how mesmerized I am with my life. And I popped the TV on yesterday before the person called that was going to meet me to bring me the food. And it said, you don't fit in because you don't belong. And I'm like, okay. But see, I took that personally because I do believe it. I do believe it. But I kid you not, I'm struggling, but I don't need to struggle anymore. I don't need to struggle anymore. Whatever life is going to be for me, it's going to be for me. And that's it. I'm not going to stress anymore trying to do this, it is not going to happen. I'm going to have to ease up and just do what I have to do to make me happy. But this morning, I was in my sleep and I believe I was crying. But this morning I realized I have to put an app on my phone so I can tell my ex-husband, thank you. That's it. Thank you. You want to know why? Because I have not been. I will speak to him on video. He will never know how I feel about him. I never speak no angriness, no nothing. Everything is kindness. If he needs something, I'm there, whatever the case may be. But yesterday, I realized how much I owe him a debt of gratitude. A debt of gratitude. Why? Because I was married and my daughter was born in May, her brother was born in June. And guess what? That was a gift that I didn't realize at the time. But what I did do is I filed for divorce and I moved on. And I struggled as a single parent, trying with mental health illness, everything. Flashes, whatever the case may be. I struggled. But I was going to give him my daughter. And someone in his family told me no, because he didn't want her. He only wanted her for his mother. They treated her bad. She was basically not part of the family for years. For years. Now, the grandmother needs her. So it's all she want to love Charisma. Oh, Charisma, come Charisma. I need you, Grandma, I need you. Yeah. And now it's my grandma. Yeah, but what about the time when she ran the fucking red light because she saw us and she didn't want to stop to give us a ride? You don't remember stuff like that. But I will not be that person because her grandmother is 90 and she's on her way out. She's definitely on her way out. Now she needs help. And guess what? It's me they want to help. And I could, but I can't because I am a constant reminder, a reminder of what she should have done. So I can't do it. And it has nothing to do with what she should have done. She didn't trust me when I told her what he was doing. Want to know why she didn't trust me? Because she knew. She knew. But when I whooped that ass, I whooped that ass in front of her. It is a horrible thing to see someone do your son that way in front of you. So she cannot. She see me. She like this. She stiff up. She like this. She look. You know why? Because she saw me do it. You didn't have to hear I did it. You saw me do it. Why? Because you knew what he was doing, and he paid the piper. That's right. I'm not proud of that, but I whooped that ass. Yeah, I made stop the mud hole in that ass. You don't get to play with me. And now karma has set in. Nope, I'm not going to do anything I don't have to do, but I owe him a thank you. Absolutely. Now I'm sitting here and I realize for years I have been trying to convince someone that I am not who they think I am. But because I was already on the road, I left the house on purpose so I don't give you a ride that I didn't even know you needed. I can't play that game anymore. That is emotional abuse. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But when I was driving, I was terrified because I didn't know how I was going to get home because I knew in my mind that gas was going down. And trust me, honey, that sucker went down. But if I should show you the little space that money was hidden in my purse that I didn't realize was in there, I'm like, But I guess you're not. I tried to buy a candy bar, $3 and change. I said, I can't live like this, boys and girls. I see why people are complaining about the prices of stuff. But I wish I had access to a different type of phone, and I'm going to get a phone. I definitely am going to get a phone with data and all of that stuff on it, so I can use my GPS or whatever. But when that man fixed my GPS, I don't know what he fixed on it, but it was taking me through the street, not the highway. So I had already driven an hour on the street, so you know my gas was going down, and I was worried about the gas. But that little lady showed me, or the little man showed me. But it doesn't matter what you show me. My fear is getting stuck because for years I couldn't go outside after dark. Couldn't go outside after dark. And I kid you not, I don't even care what anyone says anymore. I don't care. I owe myself. If I was outside, say 2:30, 3 in the afternoon, my anxiety would go bonkers because I needed to be home. I wanted my feet off the concrete. I needed to be in the house. So for years I struggled going outside. Even if I wanted to go to the supermarket, I couldn't go to the supermarket. I would say, okay, I'm gonna go tomorrow, and tomorrow would never come. There's times that the whole summer went by and I didn't step foot outside. I cannot even tell you when the last time I stepped in snow, and I live in New York. So that tells you something. But it doesn't tell you that I'm flawed, because there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I just have issues that I am not the same as someone else. It doesn't make anything wrong with me. But every time I turn around, laughing and this and comments and that type of stuff is not decent. And then I actually learned that I need to remove myself from people like that. That's why now there are a lot of people suffering, and they're suffering because of themselves or because who they are as a person. And I kid you not, Yesterday, I kept the camera rolling because having the camera to talk to made me feel like I wasn't in the car by myself. I was afraid when that car was getting to 65 miles per hour, boys and girls. But you know what? That damn piece of little chocolate gave me a little bit of chocolate energy. And I'm like, all right, Susie, we going to do this, huh? And I did it. But normally I wouldn't. I was trying to get home because I slept in my car before when I was homeless. And I know how scary it is to somebody come in your window. And I've been through all of that. I didn't want to have to pull over somewhere, don't know nobody, have to ask directions. Yesterday when I was asking, and when the camera wasn't on at this time, because one of the men had looked when he saw the camera, and I saw when he leaned back. So of course, and I'm crying, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but just in case anything goes wrong, I need this thing recorded. But it's on pause now. He said, okay, just open up the door. So I opened up the door, and he, nicked me like that, and then start working. So, but the thing is, when you don't know anything and you on the mercy of someone, you don't know where somebody's spirit is. They may say, oh, okay, let me get her in West Bubble, and then call somebody and say, the boy had to live with the glasses, I gotta, you don't know. And I watch enough Lifetime, enough Lifetime, to feel some of these things. But I kid you not. And then I'm in the car and I'm crying because I made a phone call before I left in the emergency and I didn't get an answer. And I'm feeling a certain type of way. Then I get to the gas station and I'm, looking for my mercy money. And at the time I'm looking for my mercy money, I'm remembering that I paid a bill that maybe I shouldn't have paid. And I still don't regret paying the bill because why? I'm obligated to pay the bill. I didn't know that the woman was going to call, but it all worked out. If you watch all three videos and you listen carefully, you'll see where the steps happened intentionally. So I ended up not getting where I was supposed to be. But what happened was I ended up going to New London twice. That's why I was going through some of the stuff I was going through, because when I was turning around, I ended up on the Parkway twice. That's why I saw the graveyard 4 times, because I went twice that way and twice this way. I'm like, that's same, so it is what it is. But when I finally was able to calm down, Coral was talking to me, and I had to calm it down. And then after that, I realized that one thing with me, I am just a strange kind of person, but I like to focus on the road because I want to make sure I see this side, that side, and that side. I love my driver's license, honey, and driving is a privilege. So I owe responsibility to everyone on the road. But it was really hard with all those big damn trucks coming around, and I'm holding inside and I'm trying to calm down because I didn't want my eyes fuzzy, glossy, whatever the case may be. So there was a time or two I wanted to pause the video so I could put on my religious music and listen to the worship, but I couldn't because I needed to stay where if anything happened, questions were asked, the video would be able to tell. So I had to use the video as a friend in the car with me. But I kid you not, I think I'm going to do that more often. I'm going to do that more often because it really did make me feel a lot safer. But I kid you not, boys and girls, I am so thankful that I do when I have a little extra. I just go and have somebody, take a little check with Susie and make sure she's good in different areas because, honey, she was kicking butt on that road yesterday. She was doing her thing. Go ahead, Susie. Mama take care of you. You take care of Mama. But I kid you not, I realize a lot of things I have to do now. I have to contact my healthcare provider, and it's something that I actually didn't want to take part in, but I am going to take part in it because I actually need it. Mm. Good morning. I'm going to be heading tomorrow to sign the paperwork, but I would like you to look into Access-a-Ride. I'm going to need to take Access-a-Ride more often until I can get a better handle of my desired locations. If I'm not mistaken, Access-a-Ride is in White Plains or Valhalla. Thank you so much. Bye bye. So, Access-a-Ride is this handicap bus and a car, whatever the case may be, and you pay like $6, and they take you in these locations. If I'm not mistaken, they will take me from here to my new home. So you heard that right, my new home. So anyway, while I was driving and I was going through different stages of emotions, I was remembering why I need to move, why I need to move. So I was angry because I called someone and the call was forwarded to so I said, okay, well, I won't call that number an emergency anymore. Obviously, I can read the room, and I didn't get angry at the time. I got angry in the car because I realized that that person would be able to help me because I was closer to them at the time. Now, I'm not talking about the one I said, how far am I from you? I'm talking about whoever didn't answer the phone. But then when I got home, there was three calls on my machine. Or what, I don't know how to check the machine, but of course they're there. So then I'm like, oh my goodness. So that made me feel better. But I'm gonna tell you something, boys and girls. Today's my mother's birthday. Today's my mother's birthday, and I hope she has a nice day. Really do. Hope she has a nice day. I know they probably planning something or whatever. I have no access. I have left no contact. So there goes that. But while I was driving and I was eating my chips, a level of comfort came over me that I was able to find a Dollar Tree. Now let me tell you how uncomfortable. I didn't even want to ask at that beautiful location if they take ABT because I had my card where I could have bought my food, but I didn't feel like I could even ask because I had my name and shirt with my face showing it. I'm like, oh my god, But then I said to myself, look at me. I'm out here grinding, doing the best I can, trying to lift up myself, and I just happen to need what I happen to need. And then I'm like, you know what? I can't feel bad anymore about anything because I'm not one of those people that just lay down or stay on a corner and just do nothing. And then I realized something else about myself, why I struggle. And in my sleep, I kid you not, in my sleep, there was a whole lot of scenarios going on that I couldn't control. And I know I was asleep. I know I was asleep, but the messages that came to me were beautiful because they reminded me of why I struggle. I am proud of my struggle. Amen. I'm proud of my struggle. If I had ever, at any point in time, when I was homeless, when my jaw was broken, any point in time, had offered up my body for money, I would have been able to get anything I want. So I do know I could have lived a better life. I could have a lot of things if I say, I'll give you this and you give me that. I was sleeping and I was remembering when I was on the corner right there, just having my head beat in. He was just beating my head because I wouldn't open my mouth. But I realized that I could have a whole lot more if I would have given what was desired. But I also look at myself and say, okay, I've been mistreated. I've been everything. When I did give my kindness. So it evens out in its own way, but I have no regrets. I have no regrets. And I am going to make sure I contact my ex-husband, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability today. And I'm not going to tell him why I owe him a debt of gratitude. I'm just going to say, I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful. You know why? I'm grateful for him when I was in the house one day, he was on the stove cooking, and then he took my marital dishes and made some food. And I'm like, okay. And I don't play in the sandbox, whatever. So, long story short, I followed him. And then he went upstairs, and the woman opened the door, and he went inside. And then I went and I knocked on the door, and then she came to the door, and I said, hello. And she said, yes, may I help you? I said, you see that man that just walked in? That's my husband. She said, I didn't know. And I'm like, it's okay. Please have him return my dishes because they are wedding gift, but you can have them. And I went home. But I kid you not, no matter what happens in life, a person shows you by their actions, and that's all you have to focus on. And that's why I know a person could be married, not be with in it. I will never let a piece of paper define me. Never. If I don't care what happens, I will trust in God, but I will never let a piece of paper make me feel like I belong or I don't belong. I will only allow what you make me feel to make me feel that I belong. You want to know why? Because at that moment, I should have walked away then, but I didn't because I listened to, oh, this is, I was helping in this, and guess what? I was leading on trust and faith, but the whole thing should have never happened. Why? Because I didn't want to marry him in the beginning. So I owe him a thank you, and I'm going to contact him and today and let him know I thank you. But I'm just not going to tell him why I thank him, and I am going to tell him I thank him. But I have to say thank you to everybody who commented yesterday. I was afraid. I was afraid in ways you would not believe. But when I realized, when you see the camera going dark, because I don't know how the camera was lit up when it was dark outside, but then out of nowhere it just said boom and it was dark, so y'all were able to see how dark it was. But when I got to a point where I knew I can get off of the parkway, that's all I wanted because I couldn't deal with any more trucks. I got off. And then I knew when I saw 287, I said, I know 287. I just don't know if I'm on the right one going that way or whatever. I just know I knew the numbers. So I got off and I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to stay focused. And at that moment, Coral was in my ear telling me that she couldn't hear me because I was crying. Because that's the magic. She played with me. She was like, I can't hear you. You're crying. Coral! But when I realized, and I'm like, okay, I've seen this before, but I don't know. And I love the fact that I talk to myself. I used to think I was a weirdo. And then when I researched the type of person that I am, I realized that I'm not. So it is a gift that I talk to myself. I reason things out with myself. I am a loner. So it is part of the process. And then when I passed a certain point, and I saw my daughter's building, I said, okay, now I'm here. But as tired as I was, I should have been able to pull right over and go upstairs and get about an hour rest. But I couldn't because the energy wasn't there. So I made it home. But I really and truly didn't want to spend my $10 at that very expensive gas station that I'm really tired of going to. But I made it home. I took the street. I didn't jump on the parkway. I was tired of the parkway. But as dark as you see as you see it was, when you see that there was a lot of lights, if I had jumped on that parkway that I knew could have took me home, it would have been much darker than that. But it would have been this, so I wouldn't have been able to keep track, and I had a better chance of hitting the wall. And then on top of that, the wall is right there, and and they're doing construction. So you've seen the parkway in the morning, but at nighttime, you have to love your life, honey. So I made it home. But what I did when I got about 6 blocks from my house, I pulled over. But I turned the camera off about 26 minutes away from my home so I could listen to my music. So I turned my music up and then I started praying and thanking God, and then the songs were saying, you have a lot to be grateful for and all this other stuff. So that's what I did to get me home. About 6 blocks from my home, I pulled over, put the GPS on, and let the GPS take me home because I was already home, and the GPS took me all the way home. But it showed me it was taking me through the street. I didn't need to be going from there, here, on do the street. I didn't need to, and that much I did know. But how to get home and what? No, I didn't know that. But the good thing was that you were able to see from that video is that my memory retention is gone, and I was able to see it too because somebody gave me directions, and as soon as they were going, I forgot what they told me. So that's when I realized I don't need to be out there in the streets. I don't need to be out there in the streets. I was given a lot of blessings yesterday because I really know that I have to be really mindful who I'm in company with because I am fragile. I'm fragile. And if I'm fragile like this at 56, where I need people, what the hell do you think is going to happen to me when I'm 80 by myself? This is what people don't think about. And I saw, even though I didn't see the video, I know one thing. That's why I said to the man, one of the men, when I was getting the directions, I said, "Can you give me a minute, please? 'Cause I'm not going to remember." And I put ChatGPT on to do the voice. And then he got me right there, right where I needed to be. And I was good. But I had a medical checkup, and they said due to physical trauma that I've been through, my whatever remember memory thing, there is no chance of me getting that back. There's no chance of me getting that back. But I kid you not, I have to release all of that stuff because that can't go with me everywhere I'm trying to go. It is what it is. It happened. It's gone. But you all get to see some of my fears. You get to know me better. You get to know me better. But one of the reasons why I was thankful yesterday is because there was someone that I was on the phone talking to for the last few days, and I was having so much fun. I was laughing and laughing and laughing and everything. And then, there was times I cried, and then the comment about me crying was so like it was a knife that's like pow, and I didn't say anything. You want to know why? Because absolutely everyone has rights. Everyone has rights, and I have nothing but respect. And yesterday I could have asked, but I knew. And then as soon as I got home, I see 3 messages, and then the message I sent back was, "I'm crying. I'm crying. I got lost. It was hard, and I'm tired. Good night." And that's it. That's it. There is nothing else to say. I couldn't call because I was crying. So, but to turn around and get a call while I'm crying, what do you need from me? And I'm like, I can't even imagine even hearing that. I'm like, what do you need from me? And I'm like, well, boxes, but I forgot to ask for tape. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the boxes now. Don't get me wrong, because it was a shock to even know that the question was gonna be asked. But I kid you not, I don't know what to do in here because when I sign that paper tomorrow, 9 times out of 10, the paper to confirm the address, this sucker here need to be packed. Because when they say the key, your girl is on the ride. I'm going to be gone, boys. I need the change of address. Oh, Jesus. Oh, y'all don't understand, boys. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Oh, mm, mm, mm. You know, It is so hard to know that you can live a different life by your zip code. By your zip code. And this is why I used to say to my daughter, I didn't want her to live here. And then when she left here and she got a different zip code, she understands. Now you need to leave. Yeah, well, you took that element of life over there, and that's wrong. That's wrong. Absolutely wrong. No way. I need to leave. But you know, I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, the one that you heard soothing my emotions. I was telling her yesterday what I have access to there. I would have access where she is, and she's about 20 minutes from me. And that's the crazy thing because I have an application that was mailed to me for a unit about 3, 4 blocks from her, walking distance. And I am almost positive I threw the application in the garbage. I am almost positive. And the only reason why it hasn't affected me is because this unit is mine. I cannot explain it. And when you see it, it's not going to be anything fabulous, anything like that. But when you get to learn some of the things and the neighborhood, from what I could see, looks much poorer than where I live now. Because what I saw there, I was like, when I was looking and went to, and I'm like, are you sure? But the demographic is different because that is working class over there. A lot of this over here is built up through low income housing. So of course the concept is different. But you know what? That has nothing to do with the basic level of kindness, decency, and respect. And I kid you not, I hate to say it, but it's the damn truth. You can take a person out to what, and you can take the whatever the hell it is. I can't even repeat it. But when I went into the store, I felt a little, because I was the only person who looked like me. And then the man was like, "You ready? Two, I'm open." And I'm like, "Yes." And I'm over there. But I walked into the store crying because I had just hurt my finger. I walked into the store, tears running down my eyes, a little napkin. I pulled out the food bag, and I'm walking through the store and I'm seeing people, but no one made me feel different. But I live in this community with my own people, and I feel like an outsider. I don't know how anyone would ever understand that. You just don't have no way to understand that. I knocked on my neighbor's door last night after I came home. I got a cloth in my hand. I'm steadily crying because when I made it home, the fear was still in me. And I just wanted to ask, if she could possibly give me a ride in the morning. And then to look out the peephole and walk away. And then I hear something, and then she's right there. And I'm like, wow. I walked away from the door. But I don't, there's no anger. There's no one has the right to do anything for me unless they choose to. And then someone was at my door. I didn't know who was at my door. Opened the door, and I'm steadily crying. He's like, "What is the matter? Are you okay?" And then your mother's crying. And then he's like, "Your daughter want me to go get her and bring her to you." "No, don't bring her here." I said, "Don't bring her to my house. Don't ever bring her to my house. I don't want her here anymore. Ever, 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 ever." And I'm barefoot and walked out, and then I hear him say, "Your daughter wants you to go back in the house." "Nope, I'm not going back in the house." I went to my neighbor's house, knock on the door to ask her if she could take me. And she's like, "What time?" And I'm like, "I would like to be there at 9. I think the lady come at 10. I would like to be there at 9. She said, "Okay, well, I have to wait for the school bus." I mean, "We're gonna go. It's okay." I'm like, "Thank you, but I don't have any. We're gonna go." That's it. It's either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Now, I get upstairs and I call my friend and told her that I have a ride. And you know what she said? She said, "That's who you should have called from the beginning." And one day, my mother, I think it was my mother that even told me how how happy she was that I had a friend like her. And I'm so thankful. And I've been struggling with something that I didn't want to say to her. And I hope that tomorrow along the ride I can say it to her because she is my friend. And I'm only hoping that I can say it to her because she is my friend. And if the shoes were reversed, I would want her to tell me. But I am so thankful, boys and girls. I am so thankful because as I was laying here sleeping, all I could say to myself is God provides, because I could get a whole lot of help if I lay on my back and open my legs. And it is a shame. It is a shame what I could get, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay right here and mind my business, stay in my lane because I can tell you, I'm going through a recovery. I'm going through a detox. I'm going through everything. You don't have to be addicted to things. You could be addicted to a person. But I kid you not, I went through a major storm, and realized through that storm that that was not my storm. Not my storm, honey. God has revealed to me. My brother came here. I haven't seen my brother in a couple of months now. My brother came here, and we were sitting down and talking, and he asked me a few questions, and I answered them. And then he made a phone call. I don't know what happened during the phone call, but I know last night about the phone call because why did your and he asked me a question and I answered. And that level of respect from human to human to know, that's why I'm so thankful because Mary, honey, I don't know what you're going to do with me, baby, but you are not going to get rid of me. I am sorry. I am sorry. I told Mary, MJ. Sometimes she change her name because she's a weirdo. Sometimes she change her name. Sometimes she's Mary. Sometimes she's MJ. I think yesterday she was MJ. But when we met, I really don't remember. But she wasn't able to walk that much because of her fibromyalgia, and I was daggone coming from when I couldn't walk at all in here. And I was telling her about the time when I laid out on the floor and I couldn't get up, for a long time, and I couldn't even scream because I didn't even want no help. Sometimes you just get to the point. But yesterday I was sitting in the car, and I had a flash of me when I'm 80. So I know that my daughter has been having a vision that she's not going to have me too long. And I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is correct. Because if I'm seeing myself at 80, and then she's saying, and it's been more than once that she's been getting something telling her that she's not going to have me too long, I'm not sure if God is answering her prayer or answering mine. But I told somebody a few days ago, and I had to make sure they understood that I was of sound mind and body before I said what I was going to say, because I didn't want them to think it was coming from depression or any of that. And I told she couldn't believe what she heard me say. But sometimes God answers your prayers because you need them. Maybe you don't know you need them at that time. I know what I need. I'm not concerned about any of my wants right now. I know what I need, and I need the day when they say to me, I can change my postal address. That's it. That's it. But I kid you not, while I was sleeping and I was getting these visions, I had a very clear vision of be still and be quiet. And I kid you not, I have told a lot without saying very much. You need to move with intention. Because I kid you not, after what I went through today, I may never come out of my house when I move. I may be that afraid of the unknown. I've always been afraid of the unknown, and I tried to break out that shell. But last night, I ended up on the phone with that same lady about 3 to 4 times, and she's, I was trying to, at some point, I was trying to, mellow down and take the night, and then she said, "I hope you know what you just went through today." And I'm like, absolutely, I know what I went through today. When I got to a destination where I knew I was home, I knew my way. All I could do is just sing and everything, but I still could not help but to cry because the fear was still in me. And I kid you not, boys and girls, honey, I had all my windows closed up in here. And you want to know something? Whew, Lord have mercy. I have to eat my sausage. Guess what, boys and girls? It is freezing in here. It is freezing in here. But I kid you not, when I vacate this unit and they rent this unit and find out how cold that bathroom is, they're gonna have to take this sucker off the market. But let me tell you something. That's been bothering me. And you don't understand unless you understand. Now, when I put in my my transfer, I had to break this lease to get that lease. So now the worry is, if I don't get that, then I have to put in a letter to say I need to stay here. But they don't have to take the letter because now the building is owned by someone else. So just say a single person was in this 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, massive unit, and they wanted it for more money. They don't have to let me stay. And I still have to be out, even though I have nowhere to go. And then if I have nowhere to go, and just say that they were going to help me with us moving, I would have to have somewhere to move my stuff. So that means without that piece of paper, until I get confirmation that I can change my mailing address, I'm here. Because as soon as the 30th of April comes, I need to be gone. So I'm packing regardless. But I did say, if push come to shove, I'm not willing to pay for storage. I'm not willing to do that. Nothing that I have, I'm willing to pay for storage because I don't know how long I'm gonna need that storage, and I don't know if the dynamics of storage and paying means the same to me as it would mean to someone else. But I'm sure there's somebody who understands what I mean. I'm not paying for storage. I don't know how long I need it, so I'm not doing that. I would, find me a motel somewhere, one of them places, them long stays, and I would be willing to drive way where I don't know anybody and just start new. I would be willing to do all of that. So my birth certificate, social security card, and all of that stuff is sitting in one location, so I can make sure I can take it with me. But I don't want to take it with me and put it in my car while I owe tickets on that car. Because if I happen to buck up and leave it on the street by accident and forget, everything I own is in that car when they told me. So I am in a loss right now. $378 I need to pay for them parking tickets. And then I have heard already, I'm going to give you the money, I'm going to try to help you. And I didn't get any of those tickets, but rightfully so. They're in my name. So guess what? I'm responsible. And guess what? I am going to do the best I can. I paid one ticket this month and one last month. But when I tell you what I tell you, I mean what I say. I owe everybody. Everybody. And I had to do what I had to do. But the only thing I'm going to tell you, love yourself. Love yourself. Nobody can tick your boxes like you can tick them for yourself. And no matter what happens, you never know when you need somebody. Absolutely. But I kid you not. I called Mary last night and she answered the phone, and I know she probably don't know, but she was talking to me, and yes, she was logical when she was talking to me, but she was leaning back on a headboard, and Her eyes was going like this. So I said, go to sleep. You're falling asleep now. Okay. It went to sleep. So thank you for answering. But I kid you not. Mm-mm-mm. I kid you not. I am so so thankful. But I'm hoping that after I fill out the paperwork, it's like I'm gonna have to. The good thing was I was cool, calm, collected. Everything didn't sweat. Did y'all see me have a flash, a hot flash? Did you see me? Did you see me? No, no. Even through the storm, I was good, boys and girls. I was good. Got to shoot your own horn, baby. Let me see. It is 4:10, and I'm basically up for the night. But it's actually too cold in here to do much of anything outside of the covers, unless of course I put on a sweater or something like that. So I did make me a tea. So it's hot, nice hot tea. Mm-mm. But one of the things that's driving me crazy is that my nails constantly growing, and this nail just grew. Now I cut these nails a few days ago, but this blasted collagen that I'm taking is like, and I need to take collagen for this reason and that reason, but this reason here and my hair, I'm getting sick of it because they're both growing and I don't want either one. Like, give me a break. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm. But I am so thankful. I am so freaking thankful. And then it just so happens while I was talking on the phone yesterday to the person I never thought I would speak to again, all I heard was calmness. All I heard was peace. All I heard was concern. And I'm sitting here like, all I kept saying was, I'm sorry, that I didn't even believe, but I kid you not, nobody, MJ, nobody can tell me that I didn't know that my rescue would be of concern. Because I tell you something, you can hurt somebody to the core. You can hurt somebody to the core. But when they know that to take 5 minutes to hear why, and they know a little bit of understanding, you understand? I'm thankful. I'm thankful because going, I'm going to get my life together. I will be in my house for a while. I am afraid. I am truly afraid. And one of the reasons why I'm afraid is because when I move, I have to come back and forth here to go to the doctor. But hopefully my caseworker can get me hooked with the medical taxi, and I'm going to jump on that medical taxi. And I don't like that thing because it has the wheelchair thing and it go blah 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 and it make me think it's gonna drop and all the other stuff. But I have to I have to accept I can't do it. I can't do it all. So I'm not gonna be able to jump on a parkway and get to in there. But I did realize that here, I had less of a need of my car, although you can see that I need it. But where I'm going to need it. Because here, when I leave my building, I'm at the bus stop. 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 There, I have to go like maybe 10, 15 blocks to get down to the bus stop. Everything is far, but I don't know why I put this cover on me. The girl not laying down. Oh, we just gotta put on some clothes, okay? But if anyone has a small bit of kindness, could I please ask for maybe a roll or two of some tape? If please tell me how much I have to send you back, but I cannot send it back until after I move in and give up my rent because the paper that I'm waiting for, they're working on me going in the unit on the 15th. I need a month's rent on the 15th. And ooh, no. Hell no, honey. It is cold. Your girl's getting under the cover. Bye. Ooh, it's cold in here.